Okay. Yo, 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 what is good, YouTube? What is good, gamers? It is your boy Lincoln Clay coming back at you with another live stream. Let's all be one cohesive unit and hit the like button, help spread the content to a wider audience. I would appreciate it. And please hit the bell icon so you can stay notified whenever I put out new content. I would appreciate that as well. If you are a new subscriber, welcome to the channel. I hope you are enjoying the content. And so today, um, there's not a lot of news that I want to talk about. Um, I just want to give a shout out to all the YouTubers that have helped me get to where I'm at in YouTube because my channel has far exceeded my expectations. Yeah, remind you later. Yes, Almighty Spartan God, you're here first. I mean, I just started this like less than 2 minutes ago. So before I get into the shouts going out to all the YouTubers that helped me, I just want to, pass on some incredible information about upcoming episodes of the Lincoln Show. First, Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, my guest on the Lincoln Show will be Ryan the Professional, and he's another one of my favorite YouTubers. And I love his content, and you definitely want to catch that. You definitely don't want to miss it. And shout out to Ryan the Professional. He's been very supportive. He gave me a shout out in his last video. Really appreciate that, brother. And also to this morning, I was in the PlayStation Plus podcast with Sick Humor. Shout out to him also. And I was in there with Foxy Games UK, and Sick suggested to Foxy that he should come on to the Lincoln Show because he Sick really likes the Lincoln Show, and Foxy Games UK has agreed to come on the Lincoln Show. So I will be reaching out to him on Twitter so we can iron out the details because he's in the UK and there's a big time difference. But shout out to Foxy Games UK. He's another one of my favorite YouTubers. He's another one that I always check out his content, and I can't thank him enough for agreeing to be on the show. And he said it himself. He actually likes to help out the smaller YouTube channels because he wants to see them grow. And so, with that being said, let's. I believe we have a Gunru Gaming in here.
I'm here, man. What's up, Lincoln? How are you, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you give the folks an intro, and then I'll continue on giving shouts out to everybody to help me, and then we can talk some gaming stuff.
All right. This is Gunru Gaming. What's up, everybody? Glad to be on here again. Love being on the show. You can follow me soon on my YouTube channel at Gunru Gaming. Follow me on Twitter at Gunru Gaming. And that's it.
Skip Bayless, if Microsoft has a bad E3, Crap Gamer will probably be the only one still hyping up Xbox. He will be on an island by himself, and the only fan base he'll have is probably the one that he already has, and that would be Toxic Gamers. So they may stick around, but I'm willing to bet you that if Microsoft has a bad E3 and he continues to hype up the Xbox brand, and then he starts to lose subscribers by the dozens, I'm willing to bet he'll start flipping his script. So, I mean, this is it. This is the last hurrah for the Xbox brand. If they don't come with some serious shit in the coming months, there's going to be hell to pay for them. So, thanks again, Gunru, for joining me. So yesterday, I'll start with yesterday's Lincoln Show. I felt like yesterday, I felt like a rookie quarterback who was drafted out of college, and and he was riding the bench, through preseason and through the first 3 games of the season or something. And then the coach finally said, "You're on. You're going to start this game." and he finally went out there and got his first taste of the NFL. You know, and that's kind of what it felt like yesterday doing the Lincoln Show with Porter Rock, because I was like, this is definitely one of my favorite YouTubers, and I felt like I had to put my best foot forward. I had to make this one of the best Lincoln shows, and I wasn't sure, you know, how I did, but I got so much overwhelming love and support and comments about that being a great show, and a definite shout out to Porter Rock. Not only did we have a great podcast yesterday, we talked for quite a while off air after the show was over, and he showed me a lot of tips to help grow my channel. And, you know, and I shared a few things with him about, you know, about my background. And so not only, you know, is he one of my favorite YouTubers, I have made a new friend. So, you know, we'll definitely be in touch with each other. He's agreed to come on the show again. So I'm definitely looking to make that, you know, looking forward to that happening again. And so, you know, I'll try to, you know, I'm talking off the top of my head, but I definitely want to go down the line and thank everybody who supported me. I definitely want to thank everybody who's been on the Lincoln Show because they help, you know, help make this show what it is. Because I ask the questions, and, you know, how good the show turns out depends on the answers that they give. And everybody that's been on the show is very intelligent, very knowledgeable about the gaming industry. You know, they just all have their different styles in the way that they, you know, bring it to you. And so, and because of that, that's why they are all, you know, my favorite YouTubers, because all of them are different. They all have their own style, but they're still, you know, everybody's still on the same page in terms of how they feel about the industry as a whole. You know, and in no particular order, you know, I definitely want to give a shout out to Gunru Gaming, Xbox Vidiot, King Thrash, Sick Humor, Titanfall Princess, Fata Mephisto, Ryan the Professional, Carlos Fernandez, Craig Harris, J-Wags 412, Porter Rock 77, you know, Foxy Games UK, definitely, you know, with him agreeing to come on the Lincoln Show. What's going on, Simon? Big Money, Draco Rex, Diver, Island. You know, the list goes on and on and on. There's so many people who played such a big part in me getting to where I'm at. And as I said before, the channel has far exceeded my expectations. When I first decided to go ahead and launch this channel, my goal was to have enough subscribers that when I go live, that I can engage with the viewers in the comment section and to be able to carry on a conversation with them. Because if no one's watching and no one's commenting, I think there's only so much you can say. But the viewers keep things going. They ask a lot of good questions. You know, I respect their opinions. They respect mine, and I think that's why I've, you know, moved towards the live stream versus the full blown videos. I think, you know, don't get me wrong, I still like the full blown videos because it shows your creativity, but it is a very time consuming process. And not only that, I don't think, you know, the viewers can engage with you on a full blown video the way they can with a live stream. You know, with a live stream, they can join in the conversation right then and there. You know, they can ask me their questions right then and there, and I can answer them right then and there. Whereas a full blown video, if they make any kind of comments or ask me any kind of questions, I can't answer them until, you know, until I get a chance. Simply put, you know, I might be at work when I get the question or get a comment or something, and I wouldn't be able to answer them until I got out of work, you know. So in some cases, when I made full blown videos and I've gotten comments and questions, I have not been able to respond. What's up, Guru the Legends? How you doing? I have not been able to respond to some people for hours, and in some cases the next day. But I do my best to try to respond to everyone, no matter what the comment is. And so, with that being said, because live streams allow the viewers to engage you right then and there, because I'm just as interested in hearing what all of you have to say, just as much as you're interested in what I have to say, and that's the chemistry that we all have, and I definitely enjoy that. So now that I've got the mushy stuff out of the way, Gunru, what is going on with you?
Nothing much, man. I just been spending this weekend. It's been a busy weekend for me because I had my kids this weekend. So, but when I had a little downtime, when they're busy and not worried about me, I've been kind of working on my channel, getting that all set up. I had a couple accounts that I had set up that I, kind of did stuff wrong. So with this whole YouTube thing, I'm still trying to figure stuff out behind the scenes. At the same time, I'm jumping in podcasts with live streams with you, with Sick. So I appreciate that. And so I'm kind of like an intern at the same time, as far as, working without having my own stuff, but at the same time trying to get my stuff together. So it's been fun at the same time. I got to tell you that. And then trying to get a little gaming in too. So I stayed up late last night. I actually fired up the Xbox One X, played a little Cuphead. I'm finna fire up some God of War and play that. So I want to try to get some gaming in at the same time, while I'm getting this YouTube channel up and running. But nonetheless, it's been fun just being in here with you guys and helping you guys out and entertaining the chat and listening to what the chat have to say. And it's just the community so far, it's been great, man. Everybody's been a blast to be talking gaming with, So
yeah, no question. And it's definitely been a pleasure to have you on board with these podcasts, because I definitely respect your insight, your gaming knowledge, and it's always great to have another mind in there, so people can get different perspectives of what we think of the gaming industry. EJ Johnson, what is up? Ahmet Sen, how you doing? Jay Wags, what is good? We're not talking about anything in particular, Jay Wags. I'm giving shouts out to everybody who've helped me get to where I'm at, you included. You've been a big part of that, and I want to thank you for that. We're not really talking about a whole lot of gaming news. I'm only going to be on for about an hour. I have to go to my mother's house. It's bittersweet. I have an inheritance waiting for me from my grandmother's passing, so I'm got to head over there and pick it up. So I got to take my mother to a couple of spots. So I'm only going to be on for about an hour. But nevertheless, if you want to join us, Jay, I can send you a link. But as usual, I'll do it like I normally do it. I'll go ahead and send you the link. And if you want to join us, feel free. If you got some things going on, I definitely understand. So where is he? As I start to follow on Twitter, as I start to follow more people, things get moved around. So your profile might be in a particular spot on people that I'm following, and then after a couple of people follow me or whatever the case may be, it changes.
I'm sorry, I missed it. What'd you say?
No, I was still talking to Jay Wags. I just sent him a link to join us.
Okay, I lost my headset for a second, so I just want to make sure I didn't miss nothing.
And and I was letting him know I thank him as well, for being a part of the growth of the channel and helping me get to where I'm at. And
all these guys, man, all of them has been very helpful. Everybody's knowledgeable, down to earth and cool. So, I mean, I can't name them all, but, everybody that's been in here and been on the 6 podcast and Thrash, everybody affiliated with those guys, all of them are cool people, man.
Without a doubt. And not only am I thankful for Jay Wags and everybody else who've helped my channel grow, it's also Scottish Savage. How you doing? It is also an honor to have become friends with all these YouTubers as well. So right. It was more than them taking me under their wing, it was them becoming my friend as well. And I'm definitely honored by that. So you got anything for us, Gun Rule, as far as gaming news goes, or I'll just go to N4G and take it from there and see what they got, or see what the comment section, see what the viewers if they got any news they want to talk about.
I know some of the chat was probably in Six live stream earlier, so I don't want to kind of regurgitate what was going on in there, but so you feel free to try to scoundrel up some more news, but I'm still trying to figure out where I'm gonna go from here. I know with the Gamers Club Unlocked thing, because I was actually gonna go and buy some more games today, because this is what I do. I wake up on a Sunday morning and I see what kind of deals Best Buy have. And I go there and I'm like, all right, if it's some games that's dropped down in price, that's a regular price, I will go and I will add the 20% from the Gamers Club on top of that and get some deals. And I usually do that on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was one of the things we talked about today was the Gamers Club Unlocked thing. What was we talking about? Some Days Gone information. This whole Xbox thing with the State of Decay. I'm kind of tired of talking about that because I've been watching some live streams of that today after the stream. I checked out some of those gameplay live streams, and God, man, I don't know. It's a game that I don't want to even rush to play right now, to tell you the truth.
Have you seen enough? Well, let me respond to Ahmet Sin. He said, "Well, what's your thoughts on PlayStation E3? Do you think they're going to have a third-party exclusive? It would not surprise me, but if they didn't, they have enough stuff coming down the pipeline that they don't need to make third-party deals with anybody. We still know the big games that are still coming with Spider-Man, Days Gone, The Last of Us, Death Stranding, Ghost of Tsushima. We know those games are still coming down the pipe. And then that's still not to mention, some lesser known games like Shenmue 3 and, Yakuza just released, Yakuza 6, which I'm definitely interested in. And then don't forget that they still have stuff coming down the pipeline for PSVR. There's still about 4 or 5 games that I'm looking forward to for PlayStation VR. And the games that I'm interested in, they were supposed to release this year. So I'm hoping that we'll get some more information about those games at E3, and the games that I'm speaking of for the PlayStation VR. I'm speaking of Firewall, Titanfall Princess. How are you? Same to you, Titanfall. You were a big part of my channel getting to where it's at. And I really really appreciate it. Same to you, Titanfall. If you're not doing anything, feel free to join us. Devil May Cry, I've never played any of those games, but if that turns out to be another PlayStation exclusive or something that turns out to be a third-party deal, I'm all for it, because Sony has given the PlayStation a lot of value. There's 1 second. Let me send Princess a link. There you go, young lady. If you're free, feel free to join in. Same that I said to Jay Wags. If you got something going on, I totally understand. But regardless, I want to thank you for being a big part of where I am. I mean, the link's been set. I'm going to be on for about an hour because I have to shoot over to my mother's house, but the link is there. So whenever you can get in, jump on in. But while you're still here, I just wanted to say again, thank you so much. I mean, when you did when you came on the Lincoln Show, just that one podcast right there, I think I had gained 19 subscribers that night. And that was phenomenal because I'd never seen that many subscribers in one day. So you coming on the Lincoln Show was absolutely huge. You've been supportive. You've been helping to grow my channel through Twitter with tweets. And I really appreciate it. I just can't say enough. Sen, you agree with people? You agree that people need to stop exclusives are anti-consumer? Nobody was talking like that during the 360 generation. When Microsoft, at least in North America, when Microsoft was in the driver's seat, no one was talking about anti-consumer or what kind of practices Microsoft might be doing to try to monopolize the market. But now that they're getting their asses handed to them, all of a sudden everything's anti-consumer, and Sony needs to share the wealth with them. They need to share Spider-Man with them. You know, they need to share God of War with them. They weren't saying anything like that. They never offered Gears of War over to the PlayStation Network. They never said Microsoft should share that with them. So that
anti-consumer is what Black Ops 4 Activision is doing over there. That's anti-consumer, in my opinion.
What's that, Gunru?
I was saying what Activision and Black Ops 4 is doing with this, removing single player is anti-consumer to me. I'm more mad about that than exclusives. I don't know why they're mad about exclusive games.
Definitely. And truth of the matter is, we talked about that earlier in the PlayStation Plus podcast, that I have not been a big fan of the Call of Duty franchise in years. To me, it feels the same old rinse and repeat. You know, the mechanics are the same. There's still the same problems with the hit detection. And to me, it just feels like the same game, just a different skin, you know, whatever the era is, whether it's supposed to be Vietnam, World War II, the future. It all feels the same, just different, different coat of paint.
Different coat of paint, and for $60.
Right.
You know, $60 to run around a map, not have any support from the players that you're playing with. The community is trash. So I know Xbox players can say stuff like, oh, well, we got the best online community. No, you don't. You got the same bunch of assholes online that you got everywhere else, man. And, it's just a waste of time. I feel like I haven't gotten anywhere when I play online Call of Duty. I don't feel fulfilled as a gamer, not like when you play God of War or The Last of Us or Uncharted, The Witcher 3, Neo. You feel like you get an experience that you can just, think about while you're not playing it, But Call of Duty, you jump in there and you run around the map, and with all the issues that you were just naming with the hit detection and who got the fastest internet and who saw who first, and trying to navigate the map on your own without any support from a team. It's just boring, man. It's boring and it's dry. And I just can't wait for this fad to be over with, man. I don't know. It's just not for me.
Definitely, and pineapple pizza is trash. EJ, I've never tried it before. Don't have any plans to try it. The thought of fruit on pizza sauce and cheese and pepperoni and stuff like that doesn't exactly fly with me. Back in the days, Gunru, I haven't had coming up in I think in the second week of July, it'll be 6 years since I had a drink. And you've known me for about 15 years. So, I used to put those Bud Lights down. I had my moments. I had my moments where I used to wash them down one right after the other. And I had my moments where I was didn't drink all that much. Nothing happened to me that I didn't get in any kind of car accident or catch a DUI or something like that. It's that when I got back into the gym, I felt like in order to maintain my focus, I think, and as a health benefit, I thought I needed to, cut that out of my life and not drink anymore. And why I'm bringing this up is because back in the days, like for instance, during the 360 era, there was nothing like that feeling of playing a game and playing the campaign and seeing that story play out like a movie and having an ice cold beer right there at my side, maybe even a hot slice of pizza. It was very enjoyable to see this game unfold like a movie. I still get that feeling now. I just don't drink beer. Instead I'm having a Gatorade or an ice cold water. But to see, to just relax in that couch and to turn on the game and to see an amazing story play out, it's a rush, you know what I mean? And so when Detroit Become Human comes out this Friday, you're going to see, I believe, 3 different stories that's going to keep you on your seat, that's going to keep you on the edge. And it's going to feel like I'm watching LA Law or whatever that other show was that I want to say something Justice. I can't remember what that show was called, but it was an LA law type show that centered around a prosecutor, a couple of detectives, and a judge. So that's how I want to see that play out, like a weekly episode of my favorite show. So with that being said, I absolutely am looking forward. Yes, yes. EJ Johnson, breadsticks are good with cheese sauce, without a doubt. So where are you at on the how you feel about this campaign stuff with single player Gunru?
Man, man, it got me to the point where I don't like it. I don't like it one bit, man. I played a lot of Call of Duty campaigns. That's matter of fact, that's the first thing that I would do when I buy the game. Is I would go in there and I would make sure that I finish the campaign first before I even hop into the multiplayer. And this is when I was okay with the multiplayer. Like right now, I don't even care for it at all. It's just a time killer. Like, okay, I got 20 minutes. Let me jump in this multiplayer real quick. But my bread and butter was the campaign. And to see that they want to satisfy, well, they want the money too. I understand it's a business. I get it, man. And by them wanting to satisfy the modern gamers today is just, I don't like it because I'm old school. I want to sit down like you were just explaining, man. I want to dive into a campaign, a story-driven game, And if I'm not going to do it, I just don't want that option taken away from me if I'm going to pay $60 for a game,
And I think because of that, I think, with Battlefield having a campaign, and as much as I don't like EA, I do believe I'm going to enjoy the upcoming Battlefield 5.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you off. I would just want to just say how much fun I had with Battlefield, the Battlefield 1, with the World War I thing, and they had these war stories for the campaign. I thought that was phenomenal. I really enjoyed it. I beat it, and then the multiplayer was phenomenal too. So it was like a total package deal, And with this stuff Call of Duty doing, I don't like it one bit.
Yeah, and I mean, before they got to that futuristic shit, the Call of Duty campaigns, I thought was some of the most well-written campaigns that I have ever seen, and like we talked about that earlier. I think one of the best campaigns, as far as Call of Duty goes, the best campaign, without a doubt, was Modern Warfare 2. And that part where they walked through that airport and shot up that entire airport. And see, when they were on that elevator and before the door opened and he looked at his crew and said, "Remember, no Russian." I'm like, why did he say that? And they went through and shot the whole place up. And then, I'm not going to say any more than that because I don't want to spoil it because I don't know who hasn't played it. But when he said that, when it was all over and they got done shooting up that airport, then I understood why he said no Russian. And that was like the way they shot that airport up. I said, holy shit. It made me think, what if something like that was to happen for real? So that, that's how epic that scene was, that it has you thinking like, wow, what if I got caught in a crazy spot like that? Where like 10 dudes is just lighting up the whole airport, you're going to get your ass out of there. You're going to do some dumb shit and try to play Superman and try to disarm one of these dudes. And that is Modern Warfare 2. If they were to remaster that game, I probably would play it again just for the campaign. I could give two shits less about the multiplayer, but I would probably play the campaign again.
They didn't. It wasn't 2, right? It was the first Modern Warfare, right?
Yeah. I mean that one wasn't bad. I just thought Modern Warfare 2 was better.
I got that on the Xbox One, the Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. I'm gonna go back and play that campaign again too.
And so Ahmet saying, I never played the Medal of Honor campaign. Actually, I played Medal of Honor on the OG Xbox, and you remember one of the features about the original Xbox is how you could use LAN cables and connect 4 Xboxes together to 4 TVs. and that's how we played Medal of Honor before before Xbox Live was up and running. Myself, along with a couple of friends, we would meet at someone's house and we would hook up all our Xboxes, and we would play. One of the games we would play would be Medal of Honor, you know, and with the four-way split screen, and the original Halo. That was another game where we hooked up like 3 or 4 Xboxes, and we'd have like 16 people in a garage, you know, with 4 people with 4 TVs, 4 Xboxes, and that was pretty fun too before Xbox Live was up and running. And and that the good old days, that was so fun. I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, online gaming gave me the convenience of being able to play with my friends without me having to go to their place or them having to come over here. Don't get me wrong, that's still not a bad idea every now and then, especially if you haven't seen your friends in a while. Uncompetitive, how are you, my friend?
Medal of Honor Airborne, and there was another one that I really liked too, man. Was it Medal of Honor Frontline? I think I really liked that one. I was a big Medal of Honor fan too. That's what got me into shooters, man. Medal of Honors, the Battlefields, and the Rainbow Six has got me into those shooter games.
I hate to admit it, the game that well, I have been, you know, given my age, I've said it a million times. I've seen the evolution of gaming. You know, being 51 years old. And when I used to play online on the Dreamcast back then, dial-up was still the dominant form of internet. And so because of that, there was a tremendous amount of lag on the Sega Dreamcast. But whenever I had one of those games that flowed smoothly, it was so fun. And there was crossplay back then, because I used to play Quake 3 against people on PC, and I made so many friends. And they would tell me, they would tell me, for a person that's playing on the Sega Dreamcast, they would admit, they said, you look like you're moving in slow motion, because they were on current broadband and I was still on dial-up. But they said, you know, for somebody who's playing on dial-up on a console, they said they thought I played pretty good, you know, because I did a good job of anticipating where my opponents were going to be, and I would fire a shot where I thought that they were going to wind up, and then, you know, basically the missile would meet them. And so that was a lot of fun. Also playing NFL, NBA 2K on the Dreamcast online, that was a lot of fun. But the thing that took it to the next level for me for online gaming was the first Ghost Recon that was on the original Xbox, because that came out before the first Rainbow Six. And when the Rainbow Six came out, again, that took it to the next level. And that's like, that was probably the first, you know, that was probably the first time I had got so addicted to online gaming that it was getting to the point where I'm sitting here trying to think of an excuse to call in sick, you know, from work the next day.
It wasn't Advanced Warfighter, was it? Ghost Recon, was it Advanced Warfighter or
no? The very first Ghost Recon.
Oh, very first one. Okay.
Yeah, because on that one it was a first person shooter, but there was no gun in the screen. All you had was the reticle in the center of the screen.
Okay.
And I think no, like uncompetitive, I never had a Nintendo 64, and I never the only James Bond game that I had ever played was on the Atari 5200, way back when I was still a teenager. There was a 007 game for that console back then. I played that. And
I remember that 64 days with GoldenEye.
See, I think the Nintendo 64 was part of that era, because you have to keep in mind, uncompetitive, from the age of 19, I think, all the way to whenever the Sega Genesis came out, whatever that gap was, I was out of gaming for a while, because I was in my late teens, early 20s, out in the streets, you know, chasing after women, getting into fights, doing dumb shit, you know, getting drunk, smoking weed. And so video games were the last thing on my mind. And when I bought the Sega Dream, not the Sega Genesis, that slowly brought me back into gaming, and I haven't looked back since. So there was, I want to say there was probably a gap, 7, 8, 9 years or something like that that I was away from gaming. So the Nintendo 64 and whatever other consoles were out back then, I think like even the Atari 7200, I think I never got around to playing that either. So it was like Atari 5200 gap, then Sega Genesis. So whatever the gap was between those two consoles, that's what I missed out on. That's when you started console gaming and gave up women. You know what? Uncompetitive. The landscape is different now. A lot of women like video games. When I was in my 20s, women despised video games, and it put me in a compromising position that, whenever I'd have a female come over to my place, I would have to, at the very least, don't even think about turning that console on. Don't even mention it. In some cases, I even had to hide the console because it might have been somebody that I was on a first date with, and I wanted to make a good impression, and I didn't want them to come over and see a console and like 4 controllers all over the floor and that kind of stuff. So yeah, but now the landscape is very different. There's a lot of women out there playing video games, and I think if you're with somebody who shares a common interest of playing video games, that's a plus.
Definitely.
So let me see here. You said Gunru, a lot of when it comes to the latest news, by the time I finally get around to commenting on it, because a lot of the latest news, a lot of times I'll wait for a couple of days before I comment and stream on it, because I want to make sure I'm fully aware of what I'm talking about. Now, don't get me wrong. There are times where I'll see an absolutely stupid article that's got an absolutely stupid headline, and I might just give a quick tidbit on it and then move on. But if I do something really in depth, I'm definitely going to read the article before I say something about it. With that being said, a lot of times when I finally get around to talking about something, it's already been news for a couple of days.
And we got a couple weeks before E3, so it's kind of all speculation at this point right now. We so close. So, we doing a lot of predictions and stuff like that, it's not really a lot to go off of right now.
And then the Sony part of it, everybody's pretty much ho-hum about it, just kind of, laid back about Sony's E3. They told you up front what's going on.
Yeah.
Whereas Microsoft, on the other hand, is talking about this is going to be the best E3 yet. This is going to be a different E3, and I'm looking at that with an eyebrow raised. I mean, when you deliver games like State of Decay, Sea of Thieves, in a broken PUBG game, this is what these were the last 3 releases courtesy of Microsoft. And there's issues with all 3 of those games. And the crazy part about that is that the issues with Crackdown 3 must be worse than those games. Otherwise, it would have been released by now.
Yeah.
So if State of Decay is having the problems that it's having right now, the situation has to be much, much worse with Crackdown.
I want to know, like, where do gamers go from here? Like, what do the chat got to say? Like, who owns an X? Who owns multiple 360s or got an Xbox and a PC? Where do you guys go from here if the E3 for Microsoft is lackluster? There's only so much gamers can take, and the hardcore gamers see the writing on the wall. Where do we go from here? What do I do? Do I continue to support my Xbox One X by buying third-party games only and just go with that and buy exclusive for Sony? Do I just stop supporting Microsoft at all? There's like a lot of questions that have to be answered, a lot of decisions to be made. Because I, for one, like, and I've never thought this way. I'm like, I would never go PC, but shit, I might go PC now. I'm like thinking like how to build me a PC. I was listening to Sick and Craig Harris, and they talking about PC. I'm thinking about like I might have to jump on that bandwagon and get me a PC now. You know, free multiplayer, same games. You know, what's up? It's all about saving that dollar now. Microsoft figured out a way to make money on us and take our dollars without giving us what we want, while Sony is being quiet and giving us what we want. You know, so where do y'all go from here as far as being Xbox fans? You know, I'm still an Xbox fan, but it's only so much I can take, man, before I just put a plug on them and just say, you know what, I'm not going to support them no more. And I've seen people on Twitter saying, "Oh, I sold it. It's not because of the games. It's just because I'm not getting what I want, and I don't want to support Microsoft." I'm starting to see that now. And so, you know, what are you guys going to do, man? You going to sit there and complain, or you going to talk with your dollars? Because that's what these fanboys need to be doing, talking with their dollars before they start just saying, "Oh, we need," you know, it's anti-consumer by not putting out any exclusives. You know, forget that. You know, it's about my dollars right now.
I want to respond to Competitive because he says I have a Scorpio and I'm 100% happy with it. That is absolutely fine. I don't have a problem. If somebody says that they're happy with their Xbox One X, I'll never try to put anything in their head to try to make them feel like they shouldn't be happy with it.
Happy with how? I'm sorry to cut you off. Playing third-party games, or you happy with the way it's built? You know, I'm happy with the way it looked and the way it's built. It's a phenomenal console, but it's just not enough for me to be totally satisfied with a $500 purchase. You know. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lincoln. I apologize.
Whoa! Wait a minute. You bought your 9 terabyte Scorpio because you had nearly filled up your 6 terabyte Pro. That's a first. Unless those added terabytes are extended hard drives. I've never heard of such a thing of a 9 terabyte Scorpio or a 6 terabyte Pro. I have to assume that's a joke. So haha. You know, but going back to your earlier comment about you have a Scorpio and you're 100% happy with it, as I said before, if you have a Xbox, any of the Xboxes, and you're happy with it, it's like I said before, I won't try to say anything to try to discourage you from wanting to play that console. But I will say this: if you bought the Xbox One X with the belief that you were going to get quality exclusives from Microsoft, and that's what you were expecting, and that's what you were hoping for, then yes, you got burned. And those are the people that I'm talking to that I'll question, how long are you going to support this company that didn't deliver on your expectations? You spent $500 on that console, and if there was something in particular that you were looking for, especially if Microsoft promised it, then you have the right to be upset. And for those, you know, and I don't buy into this shit about people saying that you knew what you were getting. No, because Microsoft did not tell you the whole story. Phil Spencer did not sit up on that stage and say, this is a third party console. We will not be putting out, you know, a lot of AAA titles. We will not be putting out, you know, AAA titles that lack quality and lack content. You know, he didn't say anything like that up on that stage. They started off showing everybody the Xbox One X, the vapor cooled chamber, and this is the we heard you console. They didn't directly say it, but they led you in that direction. They showed you Forza. And that right there, when I saw that Forza, I said, wow, this is a good start. I said, if they can follow up Forza with quality exclusives that look that good, this is going to be a console worth owning. And not to mention, when they mentioned about high fidelity VR, that was another reason why I was interested in the Xbox One X. But right after they got done showing you know, Forza, and they showed you a whole army of indie games, my first thought was, if this is what they have to offer, I'm not going to get one, at least not at launch. I'm just going to have to wait and see what happens and see what comes down the line. And then when they finally do have that one exclusive that that I absolutely have to have, then I'll go out and buy the Xbox One X and then buy that exclusive. But it never came. They never delivered it. And then as far as the high fidelity VR, they never mentioned a word about it. It took someone to finally ask Microsoft what happened, and they basically said that they didn't want to do it until they can get it right and make it wireless and that kind of stuff. And we know damn well that on PC a lot of VR headsets are not wireless, so Microsoft is only years away. Microsoft is years away from doing something like that. So to me, that was a political way of saying that it is not a profitable category for us to get involved in right now. And so I believe that Microsoft is just sitting back and waiting to see what happens to Sony. If Sony falls flat on their face, what's up, Fatal Mephisto? Canadian Grizzly Bear, my friend. Microsoft is sitting back and waiting to see what happens to Sony. If Sony flourishes, then you'll start hearing them talking about VR again. If Sony falls flat on their face, it'll never come up again. Go ahead, Gunru. What you got? Plus, I want to go back to an earlier comment that I saw.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, I was just look. I really like the Xbox One X, man, and I'm holding on to it, waiting to see, what they got coming in the future. And I have to make a decision because I put a lot of money into Microsoft ecosystem with the third-party games, and I don't mind supporting them still if they can give me something to look forward to, but I'm not one of these guys who's going to just keep throwing money at a company if I'm not satisfied anymore. I'm not settling. I know the value of $1. I'm making my money, man, and I'm going to spend it with the company that's giving me what I want. And that's just the bottom line. None of this fanboy crap.
Mm-hmm. Vidya, what's going on? Shout out to you for your support as well. You've been a big part of me getting to where I'm at. You were my second guest on the Lincoln Show, and I definitely appreciate it. And I'm definitely going to stay true to my word. Everybody who has come on the Lincoln Show, I will, I have asked them to come on the show again. And at some point I will do it again. And when I do start round 2 of going through everybody that's been on the show, I definitely want you to come on again. And so to respond to your comment right there, Microsoft never said there were exclusives coming for the Xbox One X. And they stated that it wasn't for everybody, just the hardcore gamers. Okay, I never had a problem with that statement. But what I'm saying is the way they presented the E3 is, like I said, they didn't directly say no, exclusives weren't coming, but they still steered you in that direction of making you think that there was going to be a bunch of exclusives coming down the line. The way they presented Forza, the way they showed those 4K graphics, the way they had an actual Porsche up on the stage. The first thing that hit my head was that game looks really good. And I said, and that's a racing game. I said, imagine what some of the first-person shooter games are going to look like. So I was thinking that, moving forward, a lot of their exclusives, should, at the very least, they should look good. But it's like I said, they didn't directly say, no, they're not on the way. But do you really think Phil Spencer's going to be truthful and say that, this is the world's most powerful console, but, oh, by the way, we're not going to be putting out quality AAA titles? Did you really expect them to say that? I had to read between the lines. They never said it. Of course, they're not going to say something damaging like that. But they still, with their E3 presentation, they still misled people into believing that there was going to be some quality AAA coming, over the next couple of years.
What's up, everybody?
How you doing, young lady? Care to get an intro in?
Well, they know who I am. I'm the Titanfall Princess. This is your show. You do your thing.
Oh yeah, but we got to follow protocol. You got to get that intro when you come on in. Let them know who you are.
What's going on?
Which they do anyway.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
Nice to hear from you.
Nice for you to be in here with me, talking it up.
Sounds good to me. But you were right on the head with what you were saying while I was listening to the Xbox thing. You were right on the money with that.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. I mean, when they showed Forza at E3 last year, and then they talked about high fidelity VR, my thinking was, okay, I'm probably going to buy this console. My son just asked me to buy this console. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to be out $1,000. I was like, this is going to sting, but you know, I'm probably going to go ahead and get it. But the VR never materialized. And then from there, I mean, when you stop and look at it, after last year's E3, Forza was the only AAA exclusive they delivered. Everything else was indie games. I consider Sea of Thieves an indie game. It just got the AAA hype and marketing.
Yeah. What I could say about to me when it comes to the Xbox, I mean, to me they just dropped the ball this gen period. Okay, I mean, I can't express it enough in words because there's a sharp contrast from the 360 era to now. Okay, there's a huge drop in quality from last gen to this gen. Xbox last gen was about securing third-party deals and all the solid first parties, ease of development, and other things. Now, the thing that bugs me about the Xbox One is if you look at the PS3 last gen, it started out almost the same way. It cost more than the other consoles. You didn't have to, it didn't have the games at launch. Was getting its ass handed to it for years, but Sony ended up turning things around because they delivered the games. Okay, the execs learned a big lesson, not to enter a console gen cocky. Okay, I feel the Xbox One could have had the potential to give gamers a better experience, but that the execs are out of touch. So it won't happen. They're out of touch with the gaming stuff. They really are. Mm-hmm. And they definitely won't surpass the PlayStation, which is giving gamers the more traditional console we all grew up with. I mean, that's all I could say in a nutshell. I mean, besides what you guys said, that's it. And I've said this before, I was just reiterating some of the things I've said in the past, but they dropped the ball big time with this. They should have learned, if they're executive, they should have learned even from the mistakes that PlayStation made with the PS3, not to do that.
Right.
But they didn't. Especially after coming out of the 360. You're going to go backwards? Come on. I just don't get it.
And to add on to what you said, Princess, during the PS3 generation, when they started out slow, they didn't try to pacify the community by saying, wait till E3. They didn't do any of this. We heard you. They didn't cancel games and then all of a sudden try to bring those canceled games back to life once they learned that the community was upset about it. I mean, and that's been Microsoft this whole generation. Sony kept quiet and they stayed the course and they eventually got through it. So towards the end of the generation, it became a very enjoyable experience with some very good exclusives. And two of my favorite exclusives during the PS3 generation was Killzone 2 and Heavy Rain, as well as Resistance 2.
Yeah, good games.
Mm-hmm. So what is up, Psycho Mystic? How you doing? Yuan Tuda, what is going on, my friend? So myself, I am definitely ready for this E3 to be over with so we can see where everybody stands on how they felt about that E3.
Yeah.
Because Rip, what's going on? How you doing? Let's make no mistake about it. All eyes are on Microsoft, whether you want them to succeed or whether you want them to fail. All eyes are on Microsoft. And once this is, I'm doing pretty good, Cycle. Killer Tate 229. What is going on, brother? like I said, once this E3 is over, we're going to find out where everybody stands. Those that are done with them, they're going to let it be known. Those that is going to support them, they're going to continue to support them.
I'm looking for something.
They got to pull a rabbit out the ass. I'm telling you, with this E3, they really do.
Mm-hmm.
They have to. There's nothing else they can do, and they can't say, "Well, we got this console, but you're not going to have other games for 3 years from now." What?
Yeah.
You're gonna lose a lot of people who even just casuals. You get the fanboys to hang around because that's what they do, but you're gonna lose a lot of business doing it that way. Game Pass ain't gonna save your ass. I don't believe that. I don't believe it whatsoever. I don't believe that that's gonna pacify people for 3 years.
One thing I will definitely say is this silly narrative that because of the very conservative E3 that Sony plans to have, this narrative that all Microsoft has to do is just show up and they win. If you really think that, you are seriously disillusioned, because what if they show up for E3 and show a bunch of games like Super Lucky's Tale and Disney's Zoo Tycoons? Is that going to make them winners because Sony's not really trying that hard this E3? You'd be seriously disillusioned to believe that.
I don't think they have to, really.
I'm with you on that.
They even got their own shows. You got to realize they got their own shows in between, so they don't really have to.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They really don't. They don't have to come out there and show everything. Microsoft, like I said, needs to pull a rabbit out their ass to get anything accomplished. It's like you said before, all eyes are on them. It's not on no. Everybody knows what Sony's really got right now, okay, and what their plans are. They can watch any of their shows to do that, okay. But Microsoft, you don't know nothing. No, we haven't gotten enough to, and then like you said, everybody's saying, "Oh, wait to E3." That phrase, I'm tired of hearing of. I really am. Wait to E3. Wait to E3. You'll see. Okay, that's what you said last year. And it was still shit, okay, in my opinion. It was not, it wasn't like the 360 era where when you went to E3, things were like, oh, shit, yeah, you were all excited. You couldn't wait for E3. Now it's like, I wish it was over already. I don't even want to hear about it. I wish it was gone. I wish it didn't even exist, because I don't think we're going to get anything that we really need.
Yeah, that's how I feel, for sure.
Same here. Go ahead, Gunru. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say Microsoft definitely not gonna give me what I need, because there's no way they're gonna be able to pull that rabbit out of the hat and show us the games this year. Like I'm getting some exclusives from Sony this year that I'm excited about. I'm already playing right now. So what is Microsoft going to do? That's going to beat that, top that. I don't know. New controllers, some new indies that they try to put out as AAA games. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to address somebody in the chat. Xbox Vidiot.
Yes.
You need to look at your name, because nobody here on the panel was saying one console was better than the other. So I don't know where you got that from. I didn't hear anybody on this panel, and even before I got here, I was listening. Nobody said one console is better than the other.
I never said that, and
nobody ever said that. So you gotta really start listening to what people are saying and not turn it into what you want to hear. Because first of all, a console is a console. It's a piece of plastic. What matters is what you play on there, and if you have enough to play.
And that is the difference right there. There is a sizable amount of exclusives on the Sony end, and it's lacking on the Microsoft side. And that's the only point that I was trying to make. And as far as Sony's E3 goes, truth be told, even if they do have a lackluster E3, to me, they've got so many exclusives from last year, this year, and what they have planned next year, that you could very well build up a backlog of games that could carry you into the next generation.
Yeah. And what is he said? I mean, do he think Microsoft is better? I mean, if that's his opinion, that's fine, but give us a reason why.
I I think with Vidiot, I think when we speak of Microsoft, I don't think he, I think that he might be thinking that we might be banging on the console itself when we're not. We're just talking about the direction that the company is going.
Right.
Exactly. And I do want to address one thing because he asked me a question. He asked if I own an Xbox. First of all, I own all three. Okay. And not only that, you go check out my gamer score tag. Okay. It's about 113,000. Okay. So yes, I do own it. So I have a right to talk about the direction the company is going and the games that they have or don't have. So yes, I do own all three.
Mm-hmm.
And myself, I have a standard Xbox One, and any thoughts that I had of buying a Xbox One X went out the way when it went out the window when Microsoft did not deliver on the VR.
Now, Titanfall, do you have the X?
No, I have the 360. Yeah, I have the regular Xbox 360 and the OG.
Okay.
I have all three.
Okay. Yep.
I didn't buy the newer one because it wasn't worth it to me.
Mm-hmm. It's not. I wish I wouldn't have bought it.
Princess, you have a question from the audience. Someone wants to know, how does Princess feel about State of Decay 2? Is she going to play it?
Am I going to play State of Decay 2? I'm going to check it out. I can't. That's all I can say. I got to see what it's about. I'm going to try it, but it depends on how I feel playing it. If I like it or if I don't. If I don't, I'm not going to continue. If I do, and it'll be more than 5 or 10 minutes, just so you guys know. At least an hour or two, I'll play into it and see what it's about.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna give it a chance too. I'm gonna use my Game Pass subscriptions that I have.
That's exactly what I'm gonna do. Use the Game Pass to see what it's about. Mm-hmm. Just like I did with when I needed to on the podcast talk about Sea of Thieves. I went to Game Pass, checked it out, played it for several hours. Give my initial thoughts on the game and what happened in the game. And it wasn't a game for me, so I just stopped. But yeah, I'm going to give it a try. I'm definitely going to give it a try.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see if they get all the kinks out of it first, and then I'm going to give it a shot.
Me, I just can't. And it is nothing against the Xbox brand, but I just don't I just can't bring myself to try a game that's got known issues. I cannot try this game and then be one of those people that say, hey, if you can get past the rubber banding, the frame drops, the screen tearing, the glitches with cars doing backflips and zombies dropping out of the sky, people falling into the ground, with the street up to their neck because they fell in some kind of phantom hole or something like that. If you can get past all that stuff, it's a fun game. I can't bring myself to follow that narrative. I can't bring myself to try a game that's riddled with problems and try to ignore those problems and try to brainwash myself into believing that it's going to be a fun experience. If the game runs like shit, I'm just not going to be able to enjoy it. I mean, if you take a race car out on the racetrack and the car's out of alignment and always pulling to the left, and you got to fight the car to keep from running into the fucking wall, how can you say that's an enjoyable experience when the car was not, when the car wasn't optimized, when it wasn't fully tuned?
That's true. Well, the other reason why I want to play it is because since it's supposed to be so broken, I want to see what's broken. So when I talk about it on a podcast, I can say I've experienced that stuff. So when somebody comes to me and says, well, it's a great game, it doesn't have this, it doesn't have that, you didn't play it. Now I could say, yes, I have. And this
that is a very good point, Princess. I mean, but
how else can you talk about it if you don't know what's wrong?
Right.
Mm-hmm. You got, especially if you do podcasts and somebody wants to ask you about it or talk about it, you got to know a little bit about it. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm going to use the Game Pass to do it. Okay. It's there, so I'll use the Game Pass to do. I ain't going out and buying the game. No.
Right.
But I need to be able to talk. That's why I went and did the Sea of Thieves, because although I said I wasn't going to play it, I said, if I have to talk about it, I have to try it. I have to see what's going on in the game so I can talk some sense and not talk out my ass. Right. And pretend that I know everything just by listening to somebody else, because somebody else's opinion may not be my opinion. So I'm not going to go by somebody else. Somebody else may, think, well, that wasn't so bad, but it was bad for me or whatever. I could get past that when maybe I can't. So I got to be able to talk something logical about the game in order to, when I'm doing a podcast, because I don't want people to think, well, she didn't play it. I know other people do that. Other people do that. They go check out somebody else's video and pick out what they want. They never play a game, but they'll talk about the game. They'll talk about it, good or bad, whatever it is. They'll hype it even though they never played it, or they'll downgrade it even though they never played it. I'm not going to do that.
That I did do it. I'm not going to lie, because, and I think the prime example is PUBG. Even though the game had PlayStation 2 looking graphics, it was a game that I was curious about. I'm like, okay, this game is taking everybody by storm. What is it about this game that's so fun? And so I was going to give it the benefit of the doubt and give it a try. But the complaints about that game, with it running with the frame rate dropping to as low as 15 on the Xbox One X and 4 on the standard Xbox One, video after video from YouTuber after YouTuber and people like Digital Foundry and other outlets that was reporting on this, it was just too overwhelming for me to say all those people don't know what they're talking about, that I've got to play it and find out for myself. The game just had too many problems, and it looked like the kind of stuff that would have made me mad, and I would have picked my Xbox up and threw it out the window.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. No, there are some that, but see, when people talk about PUBG, I won't talk about it because I didn't play it. So I'll let those people talk about it. I just leave it alone because I've never played it. I don't intend on playing it. So if it's a game that I think I should try, whatever, like with Game Pass, it's easier because you got Game Pass. So, I mean, what's it going to cost me? Nothing to play the game, really. So, I want to see how badly it's really broken. Just like a lot of people were saying Sea of Thieves was good. Okay. Even got Fatal after a while. He said, I couldn't take the shit no more.
And you best believe, Princess, that your video is going to be one of them that I will watch to see what you think of it. And if you end up putting out a video where you say this thing is a broken mess, my reaction is going to be, okay, I've seen a bunch of videos that's shown that, and now it's coming from, I feel, is a trusted source. So that is all the more going to solidify why I'm not going to try this game. Zombie games are not at the top of my list in terms of preferences. It's only a handful of them, Days Gone is definitely a game that I'm interested in, but if I find out that that's a broken mess, I'm not going to play it.
Yeah. No, you got a point. I mean, but like you said, at least you're going to people that you can get an honest answer out of. I'm talking about people who talk and they go to unreliable sources, let's say. They go to unreliable sources of people who actually don't play the game and just, say stuff about it. That's what I mean, and people do come to me sometimes and ask me about my opinion on certain games and should I get them? And I'll tell them, well, I like it because of this. But if you don't like that, then you won't like it. I didn't like it because of this, but you may like that. So I said, I'm not going to tell you whether to buy it or not. I'm just going to tell you what I like and don't like and what's good about the game, what's bad about the game, and then you make your own choice. I don't tell people to buy. See, that's one thing I won't do is tell somebody, yeah, go ahead and get it. Go ahead and get it. It may not be their type of genre game. So why would I tell somebody to go get it if they say, well, I have never played a game like that? Well, this is what I like about it. This is what I think is fun about it. And you can give it a try if you want. But I've told people, like even with Xbox, now they're Game Pass, try on Game Pass. I'll tell them that. Try it on Game Pass first if you have Game Pass and see what you think of it. You'll learn, you'll know right then. And then if you really want a hard copy, then you go buy it. Or if you want to buy it, then you go buy it.
So I haven't activated this Game Pass yet. So a lot of people are saying it's hard to get out of the subscription that they end up charging you. Have you heard of anybody experiencing that? Like
Jay Wags, I know exactly what he's talking about because I experienced it with Xbox Live. It's not that easy to get out of there. I mean, it's not terribly hard to get out of there, but it's not as easy as going to your dashboard and then, seeing a cancel button underneath Game Pass or Xbox Live. It's not that simple. I had a situation where I was purchasing 1 month memberships, and it went on for a couple of months. And so when I was ready to cancel the 1 month membership, I went to my account and I saw I saw the 1 month membership that I was currently on, and I'm looking for the cancel button. It wasn't there. And then I ended up finding out that I had to go to xbox.com to cancel it. So I go to xbox.com, and I'm looking all over the fucking place for this shit, and I could not find it. And I had to call KMAT, Gunru, to ask him how the hell do I get out of this shit. And he walked me through it, how to find out where my credit card was so I can remove it from xbox.com.
Yeah, because I do a lot of prepaid stuff. I don't like to really put my credit card on there.
Now, here's the thing about it. Now, I'll tell you this. Microsoft will only let you do so many prepaid cards. How do I know this? Because I experienced it. I bought, the 3 month memberships, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had one. I had two, actually. I had two of them. That's the way I had been going for a while. For about 6 months, I had been using the 3 month prepaid memberships. So I get, so I use another one. So I'm going into 9 months using 3 month cards. When that 3 months ran up and I got ready to use the fourth card, it would not let me use it. I put that code in like 4 times and it did not work. It simply refused it. And so I ended up having to purchase a 1-year membership from the dashboard. Microsoft deliberately, will put a cap on how many prepaid memberships you try to use. At some point, they would try to.
I never had that happen to me.
It happened to me. And you talk about being furious because I'm forced to buy a 1-year membership from the dashboard, even though I'm holding a 3-month membership in my card and my Xbox won't take it.
Wow, I never experienced that either.
That shit had me furious. And I pride myself on being a
You should have got in touch with Xbox for that. You really should have.
For what? So I can have a foreigner who has broken English keep redirecting me to different operators and shit. I was like, it was just gonna make me more mad.
I get your point. I get your point because I hate when I go someplace and you can get people that they hired that don't barely speak English.
I want to make that clear. Do not take that as me being racist and shit like that. Because it isn't, but it doesn't. The broken English from the operators at from Microsoft's customer support is not even an issue because I understood them loud and clear. I just got pissed off with them acting like, oh, I'm sorry, we'll see if we can help you with that. And then I get directed to another operator and they say the same shit. That's what was burning me up. And then so when I had that issue with that 3-month membership that the Xbox would not take, to me it was just pointless. So yeah, I broke down like a little bitch and bought a 1-year membership. I was furious. They got me.
That's crazy because anytime I bought it, I always used cards. I don't remember ever buying it really from back then from the dashboard at all. I was always getting the cards.
Mm-hmm. That's the route I tried to go.
Wow.
So, and that's part of the reason why I have less than flattering things to say about Microsoft as a company. I don't have a problem with their product. I have a problem with their practices. And this is, when I go in on Microsoft, that's usually what it's about. It's not me saying, oh, the Xbox One X is junk. No, it's not junk. It is a good console. I just have a problem with their practices. And so, put it bluntly, they are a shady fucking company. Comcast is a shady fucking company. EA is a shady fucking company. And when I jump up here and do these podcasts and I go in on EA, I don't see anybody coming in damage controlling for EA. I don't see anybody coming to their rescue. There is a general belief that they have shady practices.
You won't have anybody come in and help Comcast either.
Right. But everybody but there are people that that'll take their fucking underwear off and stand in the middle of the street to help Microsoft.
Yeah, but you know what they forgot to do when they take it off and wave it? They forgot to clean the streak that they had on it. Waving streaky draws out there and shit.
Oh man,
You brought it up, so I had to finish it.
yeah, that was a good finish.
Mhm.
I kind of was thinking that, but I didn't want to say it. I'm like, all right, no, you know.
Rip, I'll say it again. I will say something positive about the Xbox itself. I will not say anything positive about Microsoft as a company. They have more minuses than pluses.
I'm not disagreeing with Lincoln. I think, but I've had wonderful experience with the customer service, man. I feel that they treat me. Only time I had a problem is when they were supposed to send me a Xbox stereo headset that ended up breaking on me, and my Best Buy warranty expired or 15-day policy expired, whatever. And they said it was going to send me another one, and they never did. They put me through all these hoops, had me send them receipts showing proof of purchase, and they never sent me the damn headset. And I was pissed about that. But other than that, man, I had wonderful customer service. Whenever I made a purchase that I didn't mean to make, they refunded me right away. And I think it's much better than I never had a bad experience with Sony, but a lot of people say it's much better than Sony's customer service.
You know, Xbox Video, you would have a good point. You know, it says you can hate all you want. You know, point is this: if I'm playing Xbox, PS4, Nintendo, and PC, then I'm playing more games than you. That is true. For the simple fact that you are playing on more devices than me, not because of me disliking a certain console. You are playing more games than me because you are simply playing on more devices. It is not a case of you're playing more games than me because I dislike Microsoft. I still have my Xbox One in my bedroom, and on any given night before I go to bed, I'm liable to pop in Battlefield 1 because I do have it on the Xbox One. You know, and I just recently got, World War II because I got it for my son, and I'm game sharing with him. I've got about 25 games on my Xbox.
I got like 50. I got a lot, man. It's probably more than that. I got a lot of them not installed either.
And you add my collection up, I got over 1,000.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So Titanfall, what do you do about that? Like, okay, so, what do you mostly play? Your Xbox, your PlayStation, PC, what are you on?
I don't play on PC, right? I'm currently playing mostly on PlayStation.
Okay. So, what do you do about third-party titles? Because if you got that many games, you probably got a lot of third-party titles, that you bought mostly for Xbox. So do you, switch it up now, or you still buy third parties through Microsoft? How do you do that?
It depends on the game. I don't know. Most of the stuff I get on PlayStation, though. 90% of it, 99.9%, I would say I would do on PlayStation.
Let me jump in for a second and say something to Rip. Rip, you better strap on your seatbelt and get ready for a little story. When the original Xbox first came out, I fell in love with that console. They had a lot of exclusives. Links, I think, is the best golf game of all time. It was an Xbox exclusive golf game that had Sergio, what's his name? Sergio Garcia, the golfer, on the front of it. I played that game for hours. Mech Assault was another one of my favorite games on the original Xbox. I played that game for hours. Crimson Skies, and then Microsoft had their own lineup of sports games.
Inside Drive.
Yeah, Inside Drive that had Vince Carter on the front of it. Mm-hmm. Inside Pitch, which was their first baseball game. It was the first baseball game on the Xbox that had online head-to-head. Mm-hmm. They had the football game with Peyton Manning on the front of it. They had a tremendous lineup of exclusives on the original Xbox, and then they had features like where you can when you can play music, where you can turn down the game volume and play music. That was an amazing, that was a very innovative feature. I absolutely loved it. And then when the 360 generation took off, not only did I like the 360, but now you get ready for this, Rip. I wanted the Xbox 360 to put Sony out of business, because when the PS2 generation started, I thought Sony did some foul shit, because I had heard that they claimed that the PS2 was in short supply because some warehouse had caught on fire and there was a bunch of chips in this warehouse that were destroyed. And therefore, there was a shortage of PS2s. I felt it was a lie by Sony to drive up demand and make these things really hard to get, you know, so they could sell them. I was pissed off about that. I was pissed off about the memory card situation where you buy a Sony memory card and it only got 13 blocks. A couple of years later, when all these aftermarket companies started making memory cards, they've got 50 blocks, 100 blocks, 200 blocks. So that told me that Sony could have did it right from the start. And they were feeding people these memory cards in a teaspoon size so they can keep milking the shit out of people selling these memory cards. Then when the PS3 generation started, they come out with this arrogant ass price tag of $600. And then they didn't, and the consoles didn't have the hard drive space to justify that price. You know, you had a 60 gig console and you had a 20 gig console. And I wanted Microsoft to bury them. I wanted Microsoft to put them out of business. What made me flip the script that generation is when I caught a red console that had the red rings of death. I called Microsoft. They said, send it to us. They sent me back a broken Xbox. They sent me back somebody else's Xbox that looked like it had been sitting around in a fucking mechanic's garage.
Oh, shit.
When I went to go plug the thing up, it would not play any games. As soon as I stuck a game in there, I got an error message that said, if this is an Xbox game, you know, please insert it now or some shit like that. I called Microsoft and told them I have an Xbox that is not playing games. And they said, well, it'll cost you $100 to get it fixed. And I said, how in the fuck are you going to charge me to fix a console that you sent me in the first place? You sent me a broken console and now you want to charge me to fix it? And I said, I refuse. I told him, I said, I want to speak to a manager. I spoke to that manager. I told them I bought a brand new Xbox. It caught the red rings. I sent it to you. I want that Xbox back, not somebody else's used bullshit. And he said, okay, no problem. We'll send it back to you. And they said, in addition to that, for your trouble, we will send you a controller. And I said, I want a brand new controller. I don't want somebody else's used bullshit. There's no problem. I sent the Xbox back. They sent back the very same Xbox that I said looked like it was sitting around in a garage.
Oh, shit.
And they never fixed it. When I turned it on, I popped in a game and I got the same error message as, if this is a 360 game, please insert it now. I go to open the box. I pull out the controller, and that controller looked like it had been used by 400 people. It was so worn out. I put batteries in it, and the shit didn't work. It never lit up. No, Rip. This isn't nitpicking. When I spend $400 for a console, I do not expect that thing to take a shit after 6 months. And when I send it back to the company, I expect them to fix it and send me back the same console that I spent that $400 for. I didn't even give two shits about the controller. I wanted the console that I paid for. And as a consumer that spent my hard-earned money, I am within my right to ask for that. That is shady practices by Microsoft. As a matter of fact, when the red ring situation first started showing up, Microsoft was not fixing these consoles. They did not start fixing these consoles until there was an uproar and everybody was talking about switching over to the upcoming PlayStation 3 because it came out a whole year later. And when people started threatening to switch over to the PlayStation 3, oh, now all of a sudden Microsoft's talking about, we care about, you know, I am not misinforming the audience. This was a personal experience. That was a personal experience that I went through. That is not misinforming the audience. I'm telling them what I went through. It was shady business practices, and I did not care about it. And I am within my right to be disappointed with that. And then it continued. You know, there's lies after lies from this company.
Just like now.
Lincoln, I have a question since you brought up the OG. I want to see if you remember a game, a particular game. Mm-hmm. Ghost Recon 2, which had the best tactical third person perspective.
Not only do I remember Ghost Recon 2, before you joined the podcast, Ghost Recon, see, I was playing on the Dreamcast. I was already playing games like Quake 3 and NFL 2K and NBA 2K on the Dreamcast. So when I finally, so when Xbox Live, because I bought my Xbox about 6 months before Xbox Live was up and running. And so when Xbox Live was up and running and I played that first Ghost Recon, I had never played anything like it. I was up for hours. And then the first Rainbow came out, which were exclusives on the original Xbox. Those games alone were reasons to own the first Xbox. I can't tell you how many hours I played the first Ghost Recon, the first Rainbow. So with that being said, Ghost Recon 2 was a day one purchase. And
it's nothing like it now.
No.
Nothing like that game.
No, that's what I'm saying. These guys that's into this Call of Duty and running around and, not having a tactical shooter to play, they don't know what they're missing. That's a perfect example right there.
I think in terms of, I will admit, my time spent on the original Xbox was some of the best. Those were some of my best years of gaming. And it wasn't just the online multiplayer. They had a lineup of games that were really fun.
And they had campaign missions.
Yes. And now everybody just wants to do online. See, that's what I don't like, that they took out the campaign mission on the new Call of Duty.
Yeah. That's what got me into shooters, is campaign story-driven missions through shooters like that, first-person shooters.
And I can take it out. I can take that back to the first Gears of War. Oh my God. Right there, I never had a feeling like that. That game set the bar.
That game actually made me go buy my 360.
Right.
I saw that game. I went and bought the game. I bought the console and the game when it came out. As soon as it came out, I went and bought the console. I bought that game, and then I had fun ever since with the 360.
And to me, the campaign was the featured part of Gears of War. I love the campaign. The online multiplayer was an added bonus. That, when you ask me what a complete game is, I'll always refer to the first Gears of War as one of the first complete games in terms of amazing graphics, a great campaign, and great online player. So with that being said, Rip, can you admit that Microsoft is a shell of what it used to be?
After all that information, all the games, we just told you games.
We don't told you how many consoles we had, how we enjoyed it back in the day. So it's not like we never owned a console. I still have all mine. I even have a Dreamcast. Okay, so I have all this stuff. I have GameCube even. Wii U. I have all of it. So it's not like none of us are bashing anything. We're just saying it went from us having this experience to us having like nil to none experience.
Right. And
that's what we're talking about.
Now, Vidiot, you need to really think about what you just said right there. You said Black Ops 4 isn't released yet. How can they be taking away content if it was never created? Because they told us it was taken away. They told us that the campaign wouldn't be ready in time. Therefore, it's not going to be in the game. Not only is it not going to be in the game, they moved the release date up in order to stay out of the way of Red Dead Redemption 2. I never said that they were taking away the campaign. They did.
Yeah, they did say they were taking it away. And unless they said something that was false, then you have to go to them because that's what they told the public.
Yeah, I was watching that live stream by them.
So you can't say we're saying anything. You got to do your homework to know when you come to a podcast what people are talking about. Unfortunately, you got to do your homework and know that we're not saying anything that wasn't told to us.
And how did he feel about it? Is he okay with that? If he okay with just the multiplayer, then fine.
Exactly. I'm never going to knock anybody who wants to get Black Ops 4. I'm not going to knock anybody for it.
Oh, hell no.
I'm just saying that over the, all the Call of Duties that I've played, I played them because I love the campaigns. They had great stories. And they've taken away the one part that had the, that I was most interested in. Therefore, I'm not buying the game, but I will end up with the game anyway because my son has asked me for the game. And because of the share program with the Xbox, when I buy it for him, I will get it. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I won't try it when it's going to be right there on my Xbox. Same thing with World War II. I rented the game when it first came out for the PlayStation, and I really didn't get that deep into it. I didn't have anything about it. I didn't have anything against the game itself. I just wasn't feeling it. And my son wanted that game. He contacted me about a week ago and left me a message on the Xbox, said, I want a game. Which one? World War II. Go ahead. He bought it. It showed up on my Xbox the next day. I popped it in. I played it again for a few minutes, and I just couldn't get into it. Nothing against the game. I just couldn't get into it. Now, when Black Ops 4 comes out, again, they're taking away the part that interests me the most about the Call of Duty franchise. But because it's going to be on my Xbox, I will give this game a shot. There's a difference between buying something, playing something that's already going to be on your Xbox because of certain circumstances. It's another to go out and buy a game that's known to have problems just so you can give it an opinion on it. I'm not going to buy a game just so I can give an opinion on it. I'm going to buy a game because it looks like it looks attractive to me. I'm not going to buy State of Decay just so I can give an opinion on it. Just so I can satisfy these people that say you got to play the game before you judge it. No, if it doesn't look attractive to me, I'm within my right.
It's your own money. You don't have to buy nothing you don't want to buy.
Right. Why should I drop $30 or get locked into a Game Pass subscription just so I can appease people and say that I've played it, therefore I have a right to criticize the game? I'm not going to criticize the game. It's just not my preference. It doesn't jive with me. But there's an overwhelming amount of videos and articles talking about the problems with this game. Therefore, I do not think it's something that I'm going to enjoy. Therefore, I have no intentions of buying the game. If someone hands me the game or gives me a free code, then of course I'll try. But I'm not going to spend my money to try it just so I can appease people to say, well, you haven't played it, so you got no right to say anything about it. Fuck that. A fool and their money are soon separated.
It's something I use when I'm spending my hard-earned money on games, and it's called the eye test. If it don't pass the eye test, sometimes I just won't buy it, depending on how I think it looked. And if I don't think it looked worthy of $60 or $30 or $40, whatever, I'm not gonna buy it.
Exactly.
No, that I agree with. Like I said, the only reason why I'm gonna try it is because I do have Game Pass, so I did get it. So I'm going to give it. I'm going to try it. But once again, it's I heard all the articles like you did about the bugs and all this, and I want to see how bad it really is, because then I can do a really good and funny, video on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
and laugh my ass off the whole time. Like, did you see that? Whatever. I mean, come on.
I might do that too. I think I'm gonna use my Game Pass and stream it. I was saving my Game Pass for this game. I was saving it, because I knew Sea of Thieves was right in front of it, and then that was coming, and I was going to use Game Pass and be able to play both of them, because I knew those was the big titles Microsoft was, hyping up.
Yeah, see, you in a different position because you already have the Game Pass, so why not use it?
Right.
But I'm not going to jump up and buy a Game Pass subscription,
right?
Just so I can buy a game that I know has problems.
Well, my son blew that when he dropped $60 on Sea of Thieves, and he don't even play it. I'm still thinking about that. I got that on my Xbox right now. I'm not even touching it. Can't believe he did that. Son, talk to me first before he was with his mom at the time. And I look at my Xbox and I see Sea of Thieves right here. I'm like, how'd you get Sea of Thieves? Oh, I used my gift card, or he used something. But like, son, you could have bought another game for $60 and left that alone. But
there aren't a lot of people playing it now. I mean, they had a good opportunity with that game to do something with it, and after all the years they worked on that, it still came out like shit. Come on, it was so buggy, it wasn't funny. I am going to say half the stuff I saw because I've been saying it for so long. You know, it's you know, Lincoln.
No,
you know,
I'm sorry, Princess. I just saw something that OBJ the Don said. He said, "You people deserve trash," and I hope you keep getting it.
You say what? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Look in the comment section what OBJ the Don said. He said, "You people deserve trash," and I hope you keep getting it.
I gotta look at. I ain't even looking at it. I don't even got the comment section up.
Oh.
Well, if you're going to keep damage controlling, okay, and not complaining about when you do get shit, what are you going to keep on getting? Shit. Stop damage control and tell the truth. Just like you even said when you had issues with Sony, okay? So you had issues on both sides at one time. So
who was 3? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Titan. My bad.
No, all I was saying is that you have a right to say something because you've owned the consoles, but you didn't exclusively just say anything about Microsoft. When you have issues with Sony, you'll say it. When you have issues with Xbox, you'll say it. So
just a minute. Just a minute. Just a minute. I gotta stop you people for a second.
Oh, go ahead.
Rip, Mr. Rip, RIPP. I was a little curious about your channel, so I just went and checked it out. And I noticed you have no content or no subscribers. So the question is, who are you? Which one of the people that I know that you are posing as?
Oh, boy.
It happened before. Someone, not only did a troll come into my comment section before, they threatened me. They basically threatened me to have them come on the show or else. I mean, they threatened me in my live stream. And then they followed me over to the stream where I was playing MLB The Show with Gunru Gaming. And they said, you know, bring me on the show. Let's debate. I'll make you see that you're way off in what you're saying about the Xbox and whoop-de-whoop. And then they was like, I take that as a no. You must be scared, all this stuff. And I said, hey, you followed me to this live stream right now. I said, why don't you go ahead and take the stage right now and tell me what you think that's going to make me change my mind? And I said, we don't have to wait till the Lincoln show. I said, you got the mic right now. Go ahead and take it. Say what you're going to say. And they didn't say anything. And it took me a minute to figure it out that I believed it was somebody I know coming in under a ghost account, sock account, whatever. This looks like the same thing, you know, and I could easily go ahead and block Rip, but I want to keep hearing this stuff. I want to keep hearing this damage control from a person that has no content and no subscribers.
And you talking about somebody crying over $30? Shit, I cry over $30 if a game trash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you could have bought another game with that. Exactly.
I'm crying over that.
Hey, Demigod, you know, I'm gonna be wrapping this up pretty soon, but follow me on Twitter. It's at Clay Lincoln. You know, follow me on Twitter. I'll follow you back, and then the next time I do a stream, I promise I'll bring you in here. So, you know, I'm always up for a healthy conversation. You know, I've definitely had people in here, you know, Xbox Video being one of them. He was my second guest on the Lincoln show. I did that knowing that the Xbox was his preferred platform. And I asked him a lot of questions that I didn't try to back him into a corner or anything like that. But Video was also realistic in his views that he knew that Xbox has a problem in terms of their exclusives. And because of that, I have a lot of respect for Xbox Video. I never said you were wrong, Rip. I'm just questioning your identity. You said read that online link before you leave. You sent it to our Google Hangout. Just a minute. You ain't put a virus in my fucking phone, did you, Video? I'm joking. Go ahead, Princess Gunru, whatever you guys want to comment on. I'm going to go ahead and read this article real quick. That
I was done. I think he wanted to talk.
Go ahead, Gunru. Shoot, I'm going to read this article real quick. from this link that Vidiot sent me, and then I'll comment on it when I'm done.
Oh, what was we just talking about? I forgot. I was looking at the comment section. Now I was looking at what's that guy Rip was saying.
I'm trying to think of what you would get ready to say. You would get ready to say something. You told me to go ahead and finish what I was saying. We were talking about, basically that anybody has, what we went back to what Lincoln was saying about, how when he had a problem with PlayStation, he talked, he said something about it since he owned one, and now he has a problem with Xbox, and he should be able to say something.
Right.
Basically, you do. There were times way back when I, had a couple issues with the PlayStation, and I let it know. Okay, it's not that I don't. I had a problem with the Wii U. Did I say something? Yeah, I did. I'll say it if I have an issue with it. Mm-hmm. And I can, because I own the consoles. Not bashing them, is that there's certain things that need to be changed or fixed on everywhere, really.
Right.
It's going to be something. No one thing is perfect. Exactly. And that's what people don't understand. Not one thing is perfect. Okay. But you'll get people saying, oh, well, no. Like talking about, the Xbox. Oh, it's perfect. What's so perfect about it? First of all, it's a piece of plastic. If you're going to worship a piece of plastic, you got some issues.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, you got some serious issues if you're going to worship plastic. And like you could say, like Lincoln was saying, come out there with their drawers waving and shit. Yeah, the shitty drawers waving out there. There's something wrong with you. I don't care what console you're doing it for.
Right.
There's something wrong with you. You're the consumer. They don't care what you do or say. They just want you to buy.
Yeah, and all I'm here saying exactly. And all I'm here is saying I'm not gonna do that. I'm not just buying. No,
I'm not. If I don't like it, I ain't buying it. Okay, it's just like I don't need, like, people go out, and they say, well, X amount of Xboxes sold. Yeah, well, I know some people who bought 4 of them. It's not 4 different people. They're just sitting in their house. Okay, so you ain't got 4 different users. You got one person that bought 4.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you sold it, but it's not 4 users. It's 1 user. So your numbers are false. When it comes to stuff like that.
That's why I don't go off numbers. Exactly. That's why I don't go off numbers.
Yeah, I don't go off. I go off of what I see and what I like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you got, like I said, when I got the 360, I saw Gears of War. I said, okay, time to get the 360. I had Moji already. All right. Now that's the reason to get it. And then they just kept coming out with more and more and more and more. And it was fun. It was really fun, And then I get my Xbox One. It was like, okay, what happened?
Shit started drying up with Forza and Halo. All this stuff started drying up. Exclusives stopped coming in, and all these services started pouring in. EA Access and
and then backwards compat. Why would I want backwards compat when I have my 360 right here and I have my games? I don't need backwards compat. Okay, so yeah, it kind of got all messed up, and I was like, okay, fine. I got other consoles to play. I always had my PlayStations. I always had my, at that time, I had my Slim, my PS2 Slim. I had my PS3, and then I got my PS4. So I've always had them.
Yep.
So I ain't bashing nobody. I just want people to just understand, for people like us here on the panel, there's not enough for us,
Exactly.
It is not a lot. I want to do so. I'm going to say hi to some people in the chat while he go on looking at it that way. We got Andre, we got EJ, Psycho, Garuda, Demigod. What's up, guys? What's up? I had to do my shout outs too, since Lincoln's still reading the article.
Well, I read enough of the article to give my opinion on it. I've been spending the last few minutes finding out how to remove someone. So
okay.
I went off. First, I started by removing some of Rip's messages. Then I put them in timeout, and then I just hit him from the channel altogether, because it's obvious it's some kind of troll. It's somebody that I know posing as a viewer. So it's one thing if I really thought it was a true viewer just giving their opinion, but when it got to the point that basically his last couple of messages were getting kind of aggressive towards you, Princess. So I decided to go ahead and get rid of him.
Oh, he was trying to come in at me.
He was asking if he could come on your show or something like that. And I guess you didn't.
I bet you know who this little troll is.
You didn't respond. I guess you didn't respond in a timely manner. So his next message was, "I asked you a question." At that point, it was time to go ahead and remove him.
Yeah, I think I know who that may be. It was somebody that did have on a podcast, and he's a jackass. And I said he was going to start trolling you, and now he is. And he keeps asked to come back on the podcast. He asked me to go on his podcast. He wants to have one, although we're not talking. He wants to go on there, and that's Jordan Dizzle. Okay, he has 1 million friggin' sock accounts, and I wouldn't doubt if he's coming under another name under yours. Oh, by the way, you brought that up, but I want to say, hey, what's up, Bear? What's up, Fatal? We have Fatal here too.
Oh, what's up, Fatal?
Yes, sir. The Canadian Grizzly Bear. One of my favorite guys. And I was earlier today. If you were listening, Fatal, earlier today when I was in a PlayStation podcast with Sick Humor, he was telling everybody on the panel, about the Lincoln Show and how he really likes the show, how he has never missed a show and he watches all of them. And I told him I got the idea from Fatal and from Sick. Whenever they get together, it's not a Q&A when they get together, but whenever they get together, they have an unbeatable chemistry. I absolutely love when Sick and Fatal get together. The first time I, came across a podcast where they were together, I have never missed one since. I absolutely love it when Fatal and Sick get together. It's definitely some amazing chemistry. And that's where I got the idea from of the Lincoln Show to do, one-on-ones, one-on-one Q&As.
Oh, Demigod, yes, you could next week. You can come on the podcast. No doubt about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sick and Fatal are real close up, idiot. And like I said, and I love Fatal because he come up with some crazy ass names. When he called Microsoft Microcock, I'd like the first time I heard him say that, I was at work, and I damn near blew my nostrils out trying to hold back from laughing. I had people at work, looking at me like I was crazy. So,
yeah, Fatal comes up with some good stuff sometimes. Is his comments, some crazy stuff, and you're like, where the hell did he get that from?
And so, salute. Fatal, the Canadian Grizzly Bear. It's an honor to be called your friend.
Shout out to Fatal.
Mm-hmm. No doubt.
Yeah, Titanfall, I got to come on that podcast too. Kick it with you on there one of these days.
Jamal, what is up?
Yeah, just let me know. Just let me know when.
No doubt. All right,
Demigod. I don't know who you're gonna stream with, but have a good podcast, my friend. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being in the comment section. I really appreciate it.
And just let me know, Demi, when like I said, next week, just, let me know if it's okay. You're ready to come on again and hit me up and let me know.
Andre 6K, that wasn't me and Sick going at it. That was Sick whooping my ass. And, I don't know if you know about that, Princess, but, Fatal beat my ass last night. I know. I saw you. You got your ass whooped. I did win. I think you got your ass whooped. I did win, I think, like 2 matches, and then Thrash came in there and cleaned everybody up.
No, leave it to Thrash.
Yeah, and he was talking shit too. He's like, Nostradamus, my shit is on point. Why he tearing them up with these 10-punch combos? That shit was so funny. Let's see.
Yeah, I didn't catch it until this morning when I was looking it up, but because you guys, I saw the time. You guys are doing that shit late as hell.
Yeah,
I just got off the podcast.
Once this podcast is over, I got to shoot over to my mother's house, and I got to run her to a couple of spots. But once I get back home, I plan on doing some kind of live stream, whether it's MLB The Show or whether it's Tekken. either direction I go. If I decide to stream MLB The Show, then it's you and me, Gunru, on that rubber match.
I'll be looking forward to that, man. Stop running from me.
All right, for sure. But in the event that I end up going into another direction, Princess, and I decide to play Tekken, as Inda Chakatku, the son of Njobu, I challenge you for the Manner of King as well as Black Panther.
Okay, well, guess what? And I'll hand you another ass whooping again. So, go ahead. You want to bring it? Just hit me up when you've done all your errands, and yeah, we can play some Tekken. I'll whoop you behind again.
No, you know what? I'm gonna you know what? I'm gonna try to play both sides of the fence. I'm gonna try to play both of y'all tonight. I'm gonna try to play Gunru on the baseball, and I'm gonna come after you on Tekken.
All right, that's fine.
Hey,
you just let me know, when you get back, roughly what time you want to do it, and I'll be ready.
You feel like taking these L's? That's good with me.
No doubt, no doubt. I've been practicing a little bit, even though I was catching them L's a little bit in Tekken. I've been practicing a little bit, Princess. And as far as you go, Gunru, my controls gotta be there. That ain't no game plan that I gotta hide from everybody. It's simple. I just gotta have control with my pitches. Vidiot, you talking about you put hands on the shit? You can get it too.
Hey, what are you playing?
He said he'll give me some hands in Tekken.
Hey man, when I start my chat, I'm telling you, man.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be starting tournaments for y'all chat guys.
Come on with this shit,
Chat guys are.
So I got it, so I like, Princess got them skills, I ain't gonna lie about that. But Vidiot, you're gonna have to make a believer out of me. So I'm gonna talk a little bit of shit and tell you up front that I'll take the brakes off your ass until you show me otherwise. But when I get a chance, Vidiot, I also check out your video about Neo, because that's definitely a game I was curious about. Six said it was a good game. Draco said it was a good game. I'm definitely curious about it. I don't want to pay the $60 for it, but I'm definitely curious about it.
That game's still $60?
I don't know. I'll go to the PlayStation store and check it out. And if it's like $20, then I'll go ahead and pick it up.
No, it's not gonna be 20. Well, this is the thing. I want the complete edition, and I think last I looked, it was 50. I want that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's gonna drop price anytime soon, so I'm gonna have to just bite the bullet and buy it. They do sell it for, I think, 20 on Amazon, but it's just the standard version of it.
Oh, Princess, did you see what the Canadian Grizzly Bear said?
No, I didn't see what Bear said.
He said, "Wait till I get tech, and I will fuck you and Titan fall up with Bob."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, he gonna mess me up with Bob? I don't think so.
Yeah,
because I get Bob, and we could belly bump, all right? Bob's can belly bump,
and
I'll whoop his ass when I do it. So bring it, Fatal. Come on.
Now, how much is Tekken on the PS Store?
It's been on sale a couple of times, so it's been out long enough that I would like to think that it's going to cost $40. I'm not sure, but it's been on sale a couple of times.
Yeah, if you watch the sales, it does go on sale.
Okay.
J-Dog said $20 on sale, at Walmart. Neo for PS4. All right, J-Dog, I'm gonna check it out, because when I get out and take my mother to run these errands, I'll go out and check out Walmart. And if I see it there for $20, I'll pick it up. So there's also a Target within the area too. So with that being said, I'll be ready to wrap this up in a few minutes so I can go take care of these things with my mother, so I can hurry up and get back and see Gunru and see the princess.
You got it.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being
just so everybody knows, after this podcast, I'm going to be playing Street Fighter 4 with Garuda Legends. So come on over, and hey, listen, I'm taking challenges. So if you want to challenge me, bring it on.
You streaming it on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Even though I'm going to be on the move with my mother, I'll definitely check out the stream.
Yeah, I'm playing with Garuda.
I'll be in the chat.
That is what is up. So we are in agreement. We will reconvene at some time here, and in an hour or so. So let's get some outros so we can get the business.
Okay.
Right. Go ahead, Titan.
Okay. This is the Titanfall Princess. You know where to find me, and very shortly you're going to be finding me playing Garuda Legends live. Okay, so come watch it. Okay, hit that like button, guys. And if you haven't already subscribed, subscribe. Okay, you know he got good shit. You know, subscribe to everybody on the panel if you haven't done so already. Check out all our content. Do what you got to do, and you're gonna do it. And I said so. And you know why? Because y'all love me. I'm out of here later.
Yeah. Thanks, Princess, for coming by. And in keeping with the new tradition, I let everybody know that I am her new bodyguard. And if you ever go into her podcast and you don't give her a like, I will smack flames out your ass.
Somebody else said that. I was on one of the podcasts. They said, "Oh yeah, if you don't hit that like button." I think it was on Here We Go with that shit again. Or something.
It was me when I came in there because I ended up having to leave before the podcast was over.
No, somebody on the podcast said, "Yeah, you left." But at the end, when I said it, somebody in the podcast, I don't remember who it was who said it, said that, "Yeah, don't forget, Lincoln Clay's our new bodyguard. Your flame smacked out your ass," or something like that. They said something like that. So somebody did be part of your outro for you at the end.
Oh, that's what's up. Ooh, Garuda talking yak. He talking sideways. He said you're gonna catch them hands.
He can talk all he want. Garuda, I'm gonna catch hands. You're gonna catch my hands and my feet. Yeah. So watch it.
OBJ the Don, thank you so much. It says smash that like button like y'all getting smashed by Activision. Also, OBJ the Don, I heard that you just came back on the scene as far as YouTube goes. I'm going to check out your video. I'm going to sub to your channel, brother. So Killer Tay, that was you. That was you that followed up. They said that was you that followed up about, y'all sub to, or else, y'all get smacked sideways. Go ahead, run that outro, Gunru.
Yeah, this is Gunru. Thanks again for Lincoln for having me on. Always a pleasure. Shout out to the chat. Make sure I hit that like button, man. Lincoln be putting out some great content. It's always fun to be on this show. Be looking out for my content on the Gunru Gaming channel. Follow me on Twitter at Gunru Gaming. Let's get this games going.
That's what is up, and I'm excited for this man to get his channel up and going because I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of content he's going to have. Also, I definitely want to give another shout out and another huge thank you to Porter Rock 77 for being my guest on the Lincoln Show yesterday, as well as Jay Wags being my guest on Friday. I definitely want to give a shout out to Ryan the Professional, as he's going to be my guest this Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern on the Lincoln Show. And I also want to get a shout out to Foxy Games UK, who is going to be a guest in the future. I will be reaching out to him so we can work out a time and date and whatnot. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Also, I like to apologize, as I consider myself a laid back person and I don't let myself get worked up too much, but I kind of let a troll come in here and work me a little bit. I wasn't yelling and screaming, but I still let it go further than I wanted it to. So please accept my apologies. Even though I don't think I got far out of hand. It's by my standards, I got a little more animated than usual. So what you're getting from me now is what you usually get from me, no matter who comes in here talking shit. I'm usually even keel. So anyway, thanks everybody for checking out the podcast. Make sure you give it a like. If you happen to catch the replay of this, please give it a like. And as I always say, make sure you lock the door on your way out. So I appreciate it. For the Titanfall Princess and for Gunru Gaming, this is your boy Lincoln Clay. Thanks for tuning in. That's going to do it for us. We will catch you later, and we are out.